Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. This is Raj here. This is a morning live stream. Um, I am looking at the US stock index futures today, and they're edging lower this morning after Wall Street closed last week at record highs, powered by a technology-led rally and the Federal Reserve's first rate cut of the year. The Dow gained 1%, S&P 500 rose 1.2%, and the Nasdaq 100 advanced 2.2% last week. This was marking several consecutive days of gains for the major indices, and investors are now shifting their attention to upcoming macro data, notably the Personal Consumption Expenditure or PCE inflation report, which is expected to influence sentiment about future rate cuts. Roche's breast cancer therapy was another highlight. They announced their new drug candidate, Giredestrant, which met the main goals in late-stage studies for advanced breast cancer, and that has provided a boost to the entire pharmaceutical pipeline for them. And there's a news report that says BBVA has increased its hostile all-share bid for Sabadell to a $20 billion bid. This is intensifying consolidation in the European banking sector. We may not feel much of that out here in the US, but it's better to keep an eye on what is happening in the European area as well as in the Far East, big markets like China and Australia and those areas, because I think if we look at the activity in the bond market and other areas, and also the value of the US DXY, it seems that there could be a kind of shift taking place, maybe at least reevaluating the regional allocation of portfolios. So it's very important to look at other areas as well. And this new H-1B visa fee of $100,000 is weighing on the sentiments, particularly in the tech sector. And there are many startups also which use H-1B. So the question now is, are the tech majors going to stop using H-1B and instead recruit from US colleges? And foreign students form a good proportion of US colleges, and they get jobs, they get H-1B, and they get green cards, and then they get naturalized. Now, there is also news that foreign students, especially from Asia, going to the US has reduced. So there is a lot of things happening out here. The status quo has been disturbed. We don't know where the tea leaves will fall. Major US tech firms like Microsoft and Amazon are showing stability pre-market, while Indian tech stocks are declining due to the new 100,000 annual H-1B visa fee. Now, this could work two ways. One way could be that the US companies may decide to do more of their work in India instead of bringing the participants to US under the H-1B visa fee. Also, the raids that were done on Samsung makes it clear that the ICE agents are looking very clearly on visa violations. If you're in a different kind of visa which does not allow you to do a particular work, then you may be deported. So all those things are tightening up. It will be very interesting to see what the tech majors do, because the government control over business is progressively creeping. US has got that golden visa on US steel. They have used that to change some decisions. So it's very important to watch this space going forward. Starbucks is retraining staff for improved customer engagement amid slowing sales. And elsewhere in a European newspaper, I read that there's a Chinese coffee chain which is kind of cheaper, and it's trying to eat Starbucks lunch. So while the FDA is increasing scrutiny on pharmaceutical ads and approving new therapies such as Keytruda, there's going to be a little bit of realignment, and there is opportunity for countries like Canada and the EMA, other jurisdictions, including Britain, to take over the role of approving pharmaceuticals and getting acceptance in that area, moving away from FDA. Now, we have economic and real estate data that has come in. Mortgage rates are averaging 7.14 today, reflecting persistent pressure from higher borrowing costs as the Fed pivots to a more dovish stance. And if you look at it, when Fed cut the rates, the long-term bonds still continue to go up. Today is the first day that we are seeing a little bit of decline in the long-term bonds. So the bonds are at the long end of the bonds are defying what the Fed is trying to do. And last Friday was a quad witching event occurring on the third Friday of September, when stock index futures, index options, single stock options, and single stock futures all expire simultaneously. Historically, this event is characterized by a surge in trading volume, often 50 to 100% above normal, and elevated volatility, especially in the final trading hour, which is called the witching hour. On this particular occasion, S&P 500 posted only a slight negative bias. Typical is around minus 0.38% return. And trading volume surged to its highest since April, and it touched 27.78 billion shares, notably above the 20-session average. While quad witching typically leads to chaotic but short-lived distortions, normal trading patterns resumed quickly. Backtest indicates that the week after quad witching, particularly in September, can see negative returns. Traders are wise to expect either muted momentum or increased tactical repositioning early this week. And that's why the futures is also showing a little bit of a drop. And I think rate cuts and guidance from the Federal Reserve are the primary catalyst for recent positive price action. Now that that is over, what is it that's going to drive the future? Visa policy changes and global deals are heightening sector-specific volatility. Quad witching has temporarily distorted volumes and intraday volatility, but it is not expected to drive persistent directional moves this week. So we have to watch what happens after this initial weakness. Pre-market is not always a good indicator, so we'll wait for the market to open and then see what happens. Now, having said that, I would like to go and have a look at our TradingView platform and also respond to the comments out here. When I started watching you about 2 years ago, I was UNPP. UNPP. Hot dog, I don't know what UNPP means. I was in China to invest in SMIC. Oh, okay. Yeah. Hopefully our channel has improved. Hopefully I've been able to improve my contents, my friend. I'm working on that as hard as possible. Let's go and have a look at our futures. S&P 500 futures are down 0.32% in pre-market trades. RSI was overbought. It has cooled off. MACD is still bullish, but moving towards the sentiment, towards the signal line, and market sentiments are still bullish at this point of time. There is going to be a little bit of realignment after the quad witching and resetting of all the options. NASDAQ also is down 0.35% in pre-market trades. And same situation as S&P 500. Dollar index is down a little bit, but it still has support at 97.27. And we look at VIX, which is elevated by 4.53%. And gold is showing the true story. Gold is saying that don't look at all the noise. There's more fiat currency that's going to be printed. Governments are not as credible as they used to be. Governments do not have the same paradigm as they used to have towards the capitalism and towards capitalistic market. All of that is showing in gold prices going up. There is subsequent bull flags which are going up, all racing towards meeting a target of 3,896.70. And our first test is going to be out here. I think we'll have a resistance today at somewhere around 3,783. And if we break that, then we are marching towards our ultimate target of 3,885. Next, put call ratio has turned bearish. And I want to point out one thing to you. If you look at US 5 years, it's on the upswing. But if you look at Canadian 5 years, it's coming down. So there is more credibility for the Canadian fiscal and monetary policy that's happening right now. We have a prime minister who was a ex-central bank governor. I think he's playing well with the current Bank of Canada governor, Tiff Macklem, and between them and thoughtful policies and scouting around the world to get trade deals, I think Canada is trying to regain a little bit of confidence of the bond community, and that's what I'm seeing out here. And you'll also see that European bonds are also getting elevated. We have problems with France, and also Italy has had problems from before, and we have Portugal also from before. So there is underlying weakness out there. and we'll have to see how things pan out for Europe. But Canada seems to be a bright spot right now. And that's what makes me feel optimistic. And if we see further falls, like as a real estate broker in Canada, I'm already seeing market pick up a little bit. So if we have a few more drops out here, mortgage renewals becomes less expensive, and as a result of which existing mortgage holders will not be rushing to sell their property, and that can stabilize the market a little bit. That said, let's go on to look at AI. NVDA is down pre-market by 0.70%, but it will get support at 173.72. Meta is also down 0.46% in pre-market trades. The reverse head and shoulder pattern has already been taken care of, it seems, and we are on the way back down. Market sentiment is bearish. MACD is still bullish. Momentum is above average, but flat. And we'll see what happens when the market opens. Google is also down 0.53%. And we have support for Google, I think, somewhere around 245.22. I don't think it's going to drop that much in a single session. Amazon continues to ride on this diagonal line of support, but this morning it has fallen down below that. So we have a resistance now for today, which is going to be at 232.68. Pre-market, we're at 230.62, down 0.37%. Apple is up 0.52% in pre-market trades, and it has got this diagonal line of resistance, which has been converted into a diagonal line of support, and that support is going to manifest at 244.40. So that's what I'm looking at as support. Pre-market, we are up 0.52%. We are at 246.80. Apple is done, and then we have Microsoft. Microsoft is down 0.61%. We had a resistance at 514.72 before. Now that continues to be a resistance because we are just below it at 514.64. Next, let's look at Tesla, which is up 0.67% in pre-market trades, a nice bull flag being formed, and we are continuing to creep up. Our support for today is likely to be at around 409.40. Oracle is up 0.90% in pre-market trades. I think support will continue to remain at 291.64, which is the end of the gap up. So the gap up needs to be filled. We'll have to see whether we are creating a bull flag or we are just having a spike out here before going down, which is just a bad flag. So I think I don't know what's going to happen with Oracle. It's fundamentally quite a strong stock or non-controversial. They're also likely to get a dibs on TikTok. That could be a positive influence on Oracle. AMD is down 0.36% in pre-market trades, still below this diagonal line of resistance. And we still have a potential target for their double top, which is at 143.88. SMCI is down 0.96%, and SMCI has got a support, which is going to be at 42.72. Market sentiment is bearish, almost tending towards neutral. MACD is bullish, but tending towards the signal line. Momentum is above average, but a little bit flat. SMCI will move in the direction that NVDA and AMD do. And also Broadcom is down 0.50%. It will have a little bit of a support somewhere around 333.64. Right now we're at 343.31. Plenty of room for it to come down before it starts the gap fill. And then we have Palantir, which is down 1.31% in pre-market trades, and it has got a very strong resistance at around 189.57, and it has a support today at 173.86. Pre-market, it's at 180. And then we look at SMH. SMH is down 0.10%, and it has got a support, which is just the end of the gap up, which is at 313.09. Pre-market, we're at 315.40. Tempus AI is down 1.11%. It's unable to crack the all-time high, and that all-time high is going to be the resistance for today at 90.26. And I think we should look at support somewhere around 85.04. Right now, we're at 87.26. That said, you should look at Rigetti. I have a severe heartburn when I look at this. I just wish I had held on to Rigetti. I would have recovered all my losses and gained a lot of profits. It's at 28.52. Go figure that out. The CDAC collaboration has pushed it up further. Next, I think SMR is up 22.65%. Again, pre-market is down 3.01%, a little bit of profit taking out there. But I think there are a lot of pockets where there is a lot of profits that have happened as of Friday. It could also be the options activity which triggered all these things to happen. Now let's look at genomics. In genomics prime, having broken above this bull flag, it kept on moving up. We had a target of the bull flag at around 5.26. It just fell short of that. And this morning in pre-market trade, it's at 5.05. It's up 3.27%. Is it going to meet our target of 5.27 today? We'll watch that in this morning's session. And once it meets that, I am expecting that this will become the new bull flag and will be consolidating. The new flagpole will become, this entire section will become a flagpole and will be consolidating to create a new flag. That will be the new bull flag. And then we move up. And that's how we are going to reach a target that we have of around 7.24. Next, we have Intelia, which is up 0.71% in pre-market trades. And we have Caribou Biosciences, which is up 1.18% in pre-market trades. Still, it's going to be range bound. On the bottom, 1.61 support, and on the top, a resistance of 1.85. Beam Therapeutics is up 0.29% in pre-market trades. Altimmune is flat in pre-market trades, still has a support today at 3.38. And then I'm looking at Editas, which is down 0.35%. It has got support at 2.72 this morning. Illumina is down 0.29% in pre-market trades. And we have support today at 102.44. And pre-market, we're at 102.45. So I'm not going to change the color of this line of support. We'll see what happens when the market opens. It's a very tiny wedge. So if we break down on the downside, then I think I'll look for the support at 93.70. But if we break out, then we'll be converting a support at 103.41, which presently is the resistance. CRSP Therapeutics is down 0.42%, and we have support at 60.65. And then we have Allogene, which is up 2.59%. It has got a formidable resistance out here at 1.36. Grail is down 0.65%, still has support at 37.77. PACB is down 0.79% in pre-market trade. It has got support at 1.21. And let me look at ARCG. ARCG is up 0.22% in pre-market trade, but it has support at around 26.69. And in terms of resistance, I think I look at resistance somewhere at 28.28. That's going to be the resistance. Vertex is down 0.19%. It has broken down below this line of support and below the neckline of the double top. So I am thinking that it has a target of 369.72. Ginkgo Bioworks is down 1.32% in pre-market trades. And it had broken above this diagonal line of resistance, and now it's firmly back again below that. For today, the resistance is 11.27. Pre-market, we are at 11.22. And our support is going to be at around 9.34. I would like to look at Precision, which is flat in pre-market trades. Eli Lilly is down 0.55%. And we have the median of this regression channel, which is at 739.28. That's going to perform the role of support today. And I'm looking at Rare, which is Ultragenics, which is up 0.04%. It has got a strong resistance at 29.41 today. Let us see what happens when the market opens. Rocket Mortgage is down 1.71%. I am considering this as a bullish flag consolidation with a cup and handle target of around 28.45. So I'm not changing my opinion out there. With that said, I would like to go and have a look at currencies. In currencies, we have Bitcoin, which is down significantly. It's down 2.17%, but it's going to have very strong support at around 110,804. That's where I think we got a support, and then we'll have to reevaluate the scene and see what is happening. Solana is also down big time, and I think the next support for Solana is 206.19, which will be a minor line of support. And our market sentiment has dropped suddenly, and it's tending towards bearishness. MACD is already bearish. Momentum is at average, and pre-market action seems to indicate that we are on the downtrend out here for Solana. And I would say that we are still getting evidence that Bitcoin and the crypto market is very strongly linked with the stock market, and they tend to move in the same direction. And then I'm looking at XRP USD, which is also down significantly. The bullish pennant that we broke out of is still providing us a support at the top. And for today, the support is going to be 2,783, sorry, 2.78. And pre-market, we are at 2.811. If we break down below this, then I think we'll have to reevaluate everything and start coming up with new supports. I think the next support will be at 2.61. So it will be a sharp drop indeed. With that said, friends, I'd like to bring this video to an end. And before I go, I'd like to ask Hot Dog, if Hot Dog is still around, what he thinks about what's happening in China, the coffee chain. Have you heard about it? It's supposed to be doing very well. I think it's called Luck or something like that, LUC or something like that. I don't remember exactly. I read it in a European newspaper. So I'd like to hear something from you about that. And yeah, so that's about it, my friends. I'll catch up with you again after my breakfast. My sugar levels are running low, so I got to rush and have some sustenance. I'll catch up with you guys again later on. Bye for now, my friends.